What do all of these faces have in common? The answer? All of their portraits were created by a computer. Artificial intelligence is changing industries like marketing, finance, and education. But what about the world of art? Inside that world is a debate. Is it the future or is it a disruptor?
And either way, it's bringing some sweeping changes to the industry. And as King 5's Drew Andre reports, plenty of controversy.
I knew that she was passionate about something, so I knew, and obviously they have a face mask on, so I knew that the main focus had to be the eyes.
Every face tells a story. For an artist like Gerardo Peña,
People know me as Perico the artist.
every stroke of the brush represents his passion for his projects.
The beautiful part about art that comes from a human being is that it takes a long time to really own in your skills and your voice.
His canvases and murals are moving, much like the beauty of this digital art on display at Seattle's NFT Museum. This artist designs a new perspective on a Diego Rivera-style painting, but it's created with the help of artificial intelligence.
We've done entire shows here at the museum that were all artists working with AI.
Co-founder of the museum, Peter Hamilton, says he's seen digital artists grow with the help of AI.
It's really fascinating to think about this as a connection or an assistant, to the artist making process. Really as another tool in their toolkit.
The speed of it and the scale of it is what is worrying.
University of Washington PhD student Adam Hyland researches the controversies surrounding AI-generated art.
Making predictions about what the art world's going to look like in 5 years is really challenging, unless the prediction is going to be there's going to be a lot of disruption.
Renton-based Wizards of the Coast, the publishers of the popular tabletop game Dungeons & Dragons, were recently accused by fans of using AI to create a backdrop for this promotional image of new cards in Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast later admitted the image may have included elements of generative AI and said, "We can't promise to be perfect in such a fast-evolving space, but our aim is to always come down on the side of human-made art and artists."
Immediately, one of the ethical problems is that companies will see artists essentially as cost centers and to be replaced by someone who can use an AI art tool, which has a much more predictable, they feel like, cost structure for them.
A talented painter like Gerardo Peña, who doesn't use this new tool, may stand out even more with the proliferation of artificial intelligence. But Hyland says some digital artists are already being phased out.
Fast forward ahead 5 or 10 years, you don't have these people building those skills, or the people who do build it are able to do it for free, which means they were probably rich to start with. So it really changes the demographics of who creates digital art.
Back at the NFT Museum, Hamilton sees AI as part of the evolution of art, which is inherently subjective.
Any piece of art that is created was created because that human saw a lot of other pieces of art. Everything comes from something else, and AI is an extension of that.
A recent painting by Peña explored this relationship. It's AI holding a baby.
In my painting, they're both the same age, but AI is already an evolved being.
Whether you see it as a tool or a tragedy, it is here.
I'm just trying to keep up, but at the same time, I'm trying to maintain the same old school styled art that I will always be making. Our story can't be replaced by AI. I think AI will have its own story to tell.
Now, to give a sense of how new all of this is, Hyland said many of these popular AI image generators were widely released within just the last 2 years.
It's incredible to see just the differences, the changes, and the artist you spoke to seems willing to accept the changes, but does he have any major concerns going forward?
He told me his biggest concern, and this is the case with a lot of his colleagues too, is how will artists be properly compensated when their work is essentially recreated by AI? And that, of course, will be a debate for a long time to come.
And we could talk about this for a long time, too. Great story, Drew. Thanks. Good insight there.